Saturday, October 1st, 2016, Episode 7. Welcome to the Political Island Podcast with your host Josh. I'm Josh, your host, where we only talk about the most important political goings-on today. And while we will get to some Pokemon Go news later, despite its irrelevancy now, I want to apologize that I have not updated you on Pokemon Go news for the past 7 weeks. There's been a lot going on and blah blah blah. I have a bunch of excuses. However, what sparked me into being able to start talking and have the desire to keep podcasting again was this debate that we had last week. Now, I kind of waited for the tension and the immediate reactionary kind of news to subside and kind of see what what kind of wasteland was left over at the end of it. And there was quite a wasteland to decipher and look through. I don't know if any of y'all watched it, but long story short, Donald Trump produced a debate performance unlike that of which we've ever seen in a general election debate. Of course, it's the same kind of performances that he had in the primary debates, so I'm not sure what everyone else was expecting. He was over the top, and that was the thing. He came out so cool, and he just looked very relaxed, and his answers were steady, and his voice was steady, and then Hillary Clinton just goaded him into the off-the-charts explosive, over-the-top, interrupting, which, interrupting, it happens in presidential debates. I'm really surprised I haven't seen any analysis. And I'm just kind of too lazy to go look up and try and crunch the numbers myself because, I got to eat and read other books and other fun stuff like that. But Hillary Clinton's debate performance wasn't exactly all that spectacular either. There's nothing to get excited about. People are talking about her little shimmy there, which I understand. It was kind of cute. She was excited. She thought she had pinned Trump in a corner, and she was about to pounce. But it was very anticlimactic. Then you had the moderator Lester Holt there, who kept challenging Trump on it was 5 or 6 different times. Well, that's not and that's not really his job. That was the disappointing part, and I feel like CNN and the Democrats Lester Holt kind of did the Democrats a disservice by trying to challenge the candidate when that's the job of the other debater to do so. And again, I really hate defending Donald Trump, and I'd be a great advisor for the Democrats on how to work how to figure out how to make it seem fair that their ideas can win in a fair environment. But anyone who's going to watch that I don't think it convinced anyone to go to one side or the other. I feel like Democrats, people who are going to vote for Hillary, aren't thinking about voting for Trump now, and surely Trump voters aren't thinking that, maybe Hillary has a good point and is a great leader. No one's doing that, and so the people in the undecided column, I don't think they learned anything from the debate tonight, except that their confirmed ability to look, their confirmed notions of the candidates ring true. Now, there were a couple of different goals that I feel like each of the candidates really had in the debate. And for Donald Trump, it was just to not appear scary, which is arguable, but he didn't come out. He wasn't this racist, bigot, all the other ridiculous stuff. Over the top. He might be those things, whatever, but not the over the top, explicit, scary creature that people, in fact, being next to Hillary Clinton and talking with her, even if it was heated, kind of softened his image. And I think that was the idea when he came out into the debate stage, was to be a little bit softer. So I think he somewhat accomplished his goal. Hillary's goal was just to appear healthy and to speak clearly, which she also accomplished. Now, I don't know what kind of sweet drugs she was on to look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as she is, but I don't see her bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in any of the other things that she does. She is obviously got some sickness going on, whether it's some kind of terminal or some kind of whatever. But whoever got her ready, whatever cocktail of pills that they had for her to do the debate. Well, I mean, good job. She looked great. She was talking concisely and clearly. That was the thing. It wasn't a home run. I mean, she just kind of got a single base hit whenever you need a home run. And I've come to believe that debates, as they are traditionally seen, where it's these battle of the ideas and these kinds of huge clashes, is really no longer relevant. I think what the debates do now is it shows the nation how candidates will be, their modus operandi, how they will talk to foreign leaders, and how they will lead to their own staff under the auspices of having immense pressure and criticism from the other side, in this case standing a few feet over from you, and how they will handle that. And I think that's kind of the point of debates, because I don't know if any of y'all remember, but like back during the Romney-Obama 2012 debate, I mean, Romney knocked that first one out of the park. I mean, you go back and watch it if you want to. It's kind of funny, because, I mean, he just put Obama in the ground. Now, the next two, Obama did a good job. Second one, he came back. Third was kind of not really a clear, dominant winner. But it didn't really matter, because Obama came out and won and beat him by a wider margin than Obama had beat McCain. So debates in the long run, debates as debates don't matter. But it is a great insight to see the kind of character that the candidate has. So that's enough debate talk for now. Go back and watch. Oh, you know what? Just kidding. It's not enough debate talk. There was a bunch of little petty stuff they were talking about. Trump is talking about the Miss Universe thing, where he made a pretty disparaging comment, and he's biting on it, and he got hit. Good Lord. I mean, quit chasing rabbits, get to the issues. And in the debate, he was like, let's get to the issues. And then this week, he's done nothing but try to address that issue, which sounds like she's a terrible person. Sounds like he made a mistake. You just got to move on. And then on top of that, the stuff about the debate microphone acting up. Again, CNN doing the Democratic, doing the DNC a disservice by having technical difficulties, whether they were on purpose or an accident. I have a hard time believing that they were on accident with how professional these guys are. Again, a mistake. You got to have level playing ground. If you want to convince people on the right that that the left is trustworthy of their vote, that kind of crap has to stop happening. So I'm not advocating Trump or Hillary. I'm just trying to tell you that they're messing up. Each side is messing up on how to appeal to the general American public. I wish they would hire me so I could teach them how to talk to especially people kind of in the middle right and the middle left. I mean, geez. And to be able to maybe plant ideas inside of each side, to be able to kind of have some semblance of harmony or finding common ground, which is traditionally what other candidates have done in the past, where they try to find issues where they can bridge gaps and show that their ideas on this particular issue are good, and lead the voter to believe that their ideas on other issues may be viable as well, which Hillary Clinton has the advantage to do so right now, but is failing miserably at doing so. So I think that might be part of the reason why I took so long to be able to do another podcast. I'm kind of depressed about these candidates. I started this podcast with the intent of talking about it and being into it and doing analysis and doing just my own, kind of armchair psychology, but it's been immensely depressing. So I'm going to keep doing it as soon as when I get sparks like that, when something compels me to come talk about it, I'll be on here talking about it. Okay, so now I really am done talking about the debate. Now let's get on to one of the weirdest moments in political history that I can remember, at least from the past 10 years. So, there was a bill authored by New York Senator Chuck Schumer and Texas Senator John Cornyn, which is a very weird alliance. I mean, Schumer's way far to the left, Cornyn is kind of center-right. It's the Justice Against State Sponsors of Terrorism Act, or something very similar to that, but it pretty much gives United States families the ability to sue internationally, which is a huge mistake. and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why it's not that hard to figure out if you really think about it. Because in the spirit of reciprocity, I mean, this means that we have started maybe entering a stage of internationally suing each other, which becomes very very concerning at some point because it affects the sovereignty of nations, not just Saudi Arabia, obviously, but the United States as well. And while we can't argue that the nationality of the terrorists at 9/11, were Saudi, of course, from a couple of other nations as well, but it will create this huge international problem of suing each other across national lines. And what I fear more than anything else is a international governing body, like maybe by the UN or some other organization, that will act as a judge, and it won't be in the best interest of the United States. It's kind of hard to, as an international body, to keep awarding the United States when they are the most powerful nation in the world. And I feel like it's a losing game. I'm not sure why the senators involved thought it was a good idea, but apparently 97 other senators thought it was as well. In fact, so the bill was completed. Congress, both sides of the congressional houses approved it. It was sent to Obama. Obama vetoes the bill because he recognizes what the implications are internationally in diplomacy. And not to mention, Saudi Arabia is one of our friends out there. You can disagree with the kingdom and some of their human rights stuff, but currently, today, the Saudis are friends of the United States, are a very important part of dealing with terrorism in the Middle East. And now we've just authorized our citizens to be able to sue these guys. It's a big mistake because then they can sue us for whatever atrocities that they feel like the United States has committed over there. And so Obama vetoes it, right? Well, then Congress turns around. The Senate approves it 97-1, which is ridiculous. This is the first override override of a veto that Obama has experienced. And the House also does it, overwhelmingly. Oh, and by the way, that one vote from the Senate that was against the override of the veto was Harry Reid, the minority leader from the state of Nevada. So, and also Hillary Clinton's running mate Tim Kaine just didn't vote. He was one of those two who didn't vote out of the 100 senators in the Senate. So anyway, it's going to be a huge mistake. I'm going to be interested to see if they don't cancel it. I'm already reading stories today about Congress. Well, Obama saying that Congress will have buyer's remorse, and it's apparent that they may. And so I think, I don't know, maybe my first reaction is to think that the bill was just something to rally and drum up political capital going into this election season for some senators to say, hey, we are for justice and all these kinds of things, and score some political points at home. But I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back and gets modified or nerfed, to be able to reduce some of the teeth, be able to I guess sue the Saudi government, because I'm trying to figure out a mechanism for a United States citizen. So let's say I feel I lost a family member to 9/11, and I want to sue the Saudis for the injustice and hold them liable for it. What lawyer do I hire? Do I have to go through the Justice Department? Do I have to go through the State Department? I feel like this thing doesn't have any teeth right now, and it'll further the power of it will be further reduced as Congress kind of realizes the realities of suing a foreign ally. So look for that to pop up in the news. Right now it's just debate. Donald Trump calling women fat and bimbos, and Hillary Clinton trying to walk upstairs. So Pokemon Go news. How's that for a segue? So Niantic Labs has kind of done a disservice to its fans. I saw that it's lost, I want to say, somewhere around 50% of its usership. It seems that Niantic couldn't stay ahead of the curve on what the consumers were wanting out of this game, and being able to go see and do. Apparently, they took off of the big locator to be able to see which Pokemon were where and some third-party app and removed it and kind of nerfed the thing. I'm not entirely sure about all the details. All I know is that whoever was running their PR just severely messed up, and their usership has gone down significantly. So, because it's gone down significantly, it seems that a lot of political parties who had been involved aren't really interested in regulating and suing the crap out of Pokemon. So that's something. There are still those who are trying to stop, for instance, common sense stuff like having Pokemon gyms on private property, which is a big mistake, or of course being in the middle of national parks where you're not supposed to be able to access. And so those things can be pursued and are continuing to be pursued, but as far as any additional regulation, data usage, that all seems to have died out. So I hope that they have some kind of revival, and I can talk to you about the political implications of Pokemon Go on here, but it looks like I'm going to need to find a new fad to be able to intersect with politics, and then I could talk about it. So thank you for listening again this week. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've talked to y'all. As the political fight goes on and things spark me into a moment of inspiration to come on here and talk about it, I will put myself in front of the microphone and I'm going to talk about it whether you want to really listen to it or not. So thank you again for listening to Political Island Podcast. Aloha.